Hi guys, Austin here, and today I'm going to show you how to properly prepare formula and to bottle feed your baby. So I have a few visual cues with me. I have a little toy baby bottle and a little baby. This isn't your typical baby doll, but we're gonna make it work. So what we're gonna go over first is just the anatomy of the bottle. So typically when you feed your baby, it's gonna be out of just a bottle like this. There's many on the market, but this is your most basic looking bottle. So you're gonna have the main bottle portion, the cap, and then the nipple. These three pieces can be dismantled for sanitization. And that is something that you probably wanna do if you wish before feeding your baby. So I can explain how to do that. So with any skill, what you're gonna wanna do is you will want to do hand hygiene, hand sanitizer, or washing your hands. You're gonna wanna bring water to a boil on the stove. You'll dismantle this. This comes in three pieces. So you can take the bottle off the cap, remove the nipple from the cap, and submerge all three into your boiling water. So you'll want to boil the pieces of the bottle for about 10 minutes. That's good for a newborn. And then when you're finished, you're going to want to carefully take it out of the bottle, take it out of the water with tongs, just for safety. And go ahead and put it on your drying rack and have that dry for a bit. So next, you're ready to prepare your formula. So in the same pot or a new pot, you're gonna wanna bring water to a boil. You're gonna go ahead and boil that water for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then you'll take your bottle, take your formula, whichever one you choose, and make sure that you read the instructions carefully on the bottle or on the baby formula can. You'll also want to check for expiration, just like anything, and make sure that it is not expired and good to go. So what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and take your bottle, take your scooper with the formula, and per directions, go ahead and put the formula into your bottle. What you're gonna wanna do next is you're going to want to take your boiled water and just go ahead and pour it into the bottle, depending on what the instructions say on the bottle formula. What a good rule of thumb is to make sure that the water is typically cooled down to about 70 degrees Celsius because you don't want to harm the baby. However, if the water is too low for you, you can go ahead and reheat the formula and the water that's in the bottle. Typically what you'd want to do with that is best practice is to just not microwave it. You never want to microwave formula because that can be too harmful for the baby. You can burn the baby's mouth, and it's just not a good rule of thumb. So what you would want to do to warm up the bottle, if it's not to your temperature liking, is just go ahead and submerge it in a bowl of warm water. That should get it up to a comfortable height for baby. So once you get the formula in, you get the water in, you're going to go ahead and just reassemble the bottle, put the cap on, feed the nipple through, put the nipple on, and then you're just going to go on ahead and shake this. And you're gonna wanna shake it to all the formula is fully dissolved. Once that's dissolved, you'll put it to the side and then you'll go ahead and get ready to feed the baby. So feeding the baby, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're in a comfortable spot yourself, depending on how long it takes for the baby to feed. So you can either do it on a couch, a rocking chair, or a recliner is preferred. I'm gonna bring my little guy over here, and he's not a full-sized baby, so it's gonna be a little bit awkward to show you how to properly hold a baby, but I will do my best. So typically what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna cradle the baby in your arm like this. At kind of like a 45-degree angle with the head kind of resting on the upper arm, the body elongated on your forearm. Another thing that you would wanna do is just protect yourself when you are feeding the baby. Not because the baby's gonna do anything, but because you're gonna have to burp the baby during this process. So it's a good rule of thumb to kind of have like a burp rag over your shoulder. Next, what you're gonna wanna do is just begin feeding the baby. You're gonna wanna introduce that nipple to the baby's mouth slowly, and then soon they'll latch on. So after the baby feeds for a few minutes, what you'll wanna do is go ahead and burp the baby. So remove the bottle, take the baby and just bring him over your shoulder, make sure he's on the burp pad, and just go ahead and lightly burp the baby. So we want to burp the baby because the baby, when it's sucking in formula, it can also suck in air, and if we're not burping the baby properly, that can cause the baby to have like an upset stomach, and they can possibly spit up. So we want to make sure that we are pacing the baby when we feed and burping the baby as well. So we'll keep on feeding our baby, and while we're feeding, we can use this as a bonding experience. So we can look our baby in the eyes, we can try to make eye contact, we can hum to the baby and sing lightly, because this is a special moment between you and your baby where you can bond and they can just feel nurtured instead of just feeling fed. All right, so when you're done, go ahead and burp your baby again, cradle them in your arms, and get ready to feed them again whenever they're hungry. And I hope this video helped you and you feel more confident in feeding and preparing formula for your baby. Thank you.